Every gardener has faced that moment when a new bed demands more soil than expected. Bags pile up, money disappears, and the result still falls short of what you hoped. But there's a method that delivers healthier soil, richer beds, and a thriving garden without purchasing a single cubic inch of pre-made mix. It's the no-till deep layer method, a form of uncomposting that builds soil naturally from the bottom up using materials most people throw away. No heat-based composting, no turning piles, no complicated formulas, just layered carbon-rich resources and the patience to let soil organisms do what they do best. Start with the understanding that soil is built, not bought, and it starts with carbon. Healthy soil doesn't form because we dump nutrient-rich material on top. It forms because organic matter breaks down slowly in contact with living earth. This is why the deep layer method avoids pre-composted ingredients altogether and instead stacks raw carbon-rich materials such as cardboard, wood chips, leaves, stems, and undecomposed yard waste. When layered directly over grass or depleted ground, they act as a long-term food supply for earthworms, fungi, and bacteria. Instead of composting these materials separately and then spreading them later, you let decomposition happen in place, forming a natural soil factory right beneath your future plants. Begin the bed by laying down a solid, uninterrupted carbon foundation. The base layer is always cardboard or thick paperboard placed directly over grass, weeds, or bare soil. This serves two purposes. It smothers existing vegetation and attracts soil organisms upward. People often underestimate cardboard's value. As it softens, earthworms pull it downward and shred it, creating aeration tunnels and mixing the topsoil with the layers above. A good starting depth is 2 to 3 full layers of overlapping cardboard, making sure there are no gaps for grass to push through. If your ground is uneven or extremely dry, wet the cardboard lightly to ensure contact with the soil and to jumpstart microbial activity. Build the core of the bed with carbon-dominant materials that break down slowly and feed the biology for years. This is where the uncomposting philosophy comes in. Instead of adding finely shredded material or compost that disappears within months, use whole or coarse organic matter. Wood chips, whole leaves, raw yard trimmings, corn stalks, prune branches, and even dry grass stems are perfect. The goal is to create layers with enough structure that air and water can move through them, while decomposition occurs steadily over time. A reliable ratio is 2 to 3 parts wood chips or coarse carbon to 1 part softer organic material such as fresh green waste or leafy trimmings. This balances airflow while preventing the bed from drying out. For example, after your cardboard layer, you might add about 6 inches of wood chips, then 3 inches of mixed yard waste, and then another 4 to 6 inches of leaves. Each layer should be distinct, but not compacted. Think of it as building a sponge. Every piece of carbon becomes part of the long-term soil architecture. Add a thin nitrogen bridge layer to support the early decomposition process. So, even though this method focuses mainly on carbon-rich materials, adding just a small amount of nitrogen can really speed up the initial breakdown without, turning the process into hot composting. And, by the way, this doesn't require any fertilizer at all. You can use grass clippings, fresh plant matter, or even kitchen scraps. Nothing shredded, nothing cooked. Just whole raw materials, really. A 1-inch layer, spread across the bed works well. You're not trying to create a compost pile here. You're just giving the microbes a bit of a starting spark. If you have access to old manure, that can be added sparingly, but it's not required. The beauty of the deep layer method is that it works with whatever is available. The soil biology below the cardboard supplies much of the nitrogen needed as it begins to interact with the buried carbon. Finish the bed with an active top layer that invites worms and microbes immediately. If you're starting the bed in fall or early winter, you can simply top it with 2 to 3 inches of finished compost, leaf mold, or even partially broken down wood chips. Winter will settle the whole structure, and by spring you'll have a planting-ready surface. If you're starting in spring and want to plant right away, add a 4-inch layer of compost, aged manure, or soil compost mix. So this creates a workable zone for seeds and transplants, while the deeper layers underneath just keep breaking down beneath them. Over the course of a season, roots will reach downward as the bed settles into a cohesive soil mass, rich in fungal pathways and organic structure. You can expect the soil to improve continuously as the layers collapse into true humus. Unlike pre-filled raised beds that lose volume and fertility within a year, the deep layer method creates soil that grows richer over time. The cardboard disappears within months, while the wood chips break down over 1 to 3 years, depending on species and climate. The yard waste, well, that integrates even faster. Each layer feeds the next, forming deep, stable humus that holds moisture in drought and drains evenly in heavy rain. By season 2, you'll notice your plants rooting more deeply and requiring far less watering. By season 3, the bed becomes pretty much indistinguishable from established soil, but with far superior structure, it transforms even the poorest ground into a thriving, living garden bed. You can use this method to build large beds economically, or even revive entire sections of your garden, honestly. A new 4x10 footbed can be built entirely from free materials using this method. The grass beneath it dies naturally, and the soil becomes productive without any tilling at all. And because you're not disturbing the original ground, beneficial microorganisms remain intact, blending seamlessly with the new layers above. This approach works beautifully for herb beds, vegetable rows, pollinator patches, or perennial borders. The deep layer method isn't about shortcuts. It's about working with natural decomposition rather than fighting it. You transform your landscape with the materials already falling at your feet. If this guide helped you rethink soil building, subscribe to Gentle Herb Living and share this with gardeners who want to stop buying soil and start creating it instead.